Developer Enhance follows up its stellar work on Tetris Effect with yet another psychedelic puzzler that's part visual concept album and part Moorish block dropper. If ever there was a block-based puzzle game that could somewhat rival Tetris, it'd be Lumines. First released over 20 years ago as a PSP exclusive by legendary designer Tetsuya Mizuguchi and his then studio, Q Entertainment, its mixture of strategic 2x2 square shifting and memorable tunes helped make it a breakout hit that has since seen various adaptations. So good is the core concept, in fact, I'm still left scratching my head about why the series has been left so unloved as of late. However, it turns out that the wait for a proper new entry has been worth it, with Lumines Arise serving as a modern and refreshed take in the vein of 2018's awe-inspiring Tetris Effect. True, at its core, this is still the same Lumines experience veteran puzzle heads are familiar with, but it's one improved by a raft of enrapturing beats, an ingenious new playfield clearing mechanic, and some seriously gorgeous psychedelic visuals. Simply put, this is Lumines as it was always meant to be played and heard. For those unaware, Lumines is the kind of block-dropping game that is, surprise surprise, simple to learn and easy to master. Your ultimate goal is to rotate a series of two-tone squares in such a way that when they land, they create 2x2 blocks all the same color. Doing so will then see them disappear after being wiped by the timeline's playhead each time it passes by, encouraging you to complete as many blocks as possible in order to build up the highest score while trying to ensure that the playfield stays relatively clear. Is it as straightforward or elegant as Tetris? Not really, and yet these extra degrees of slight strategy and complexity work well to make clearing lines all the more rewarding. What Lumines Arise does differently is take this familiar formula and amp it up to 11 by infusing it with the same surrealist audio-visual experience Mizuguchi applied in Tetris Effect. This means working your way through boards of wildly different themes and styles, never knowing what might crop up next, but always with the same core puzzling conceit. One minute you'll be forming and clearing blocks against the backdrop of excessive neon rainfall, while the next, the blocks themselves are taking on the shapes of familiar fruits and vegetables. In the hands of a lesser developer, such scenarios would be at risk of feeling like they're part of totally separate games. Yet here, as with Tetris Effect, Lumines Arise makes them feel like a transcendent storytelling experience that is equal parts hallucinogenic and emotional. A large portion of how Lumines Arise is able to achieve this feeling, of course, is through the music itself. Featuring 35 original tracks that span everything from lo-fi R&B to rap, each one makes it easy to fall into the typical Lumines groove and enter the necessary flow state required to achieve the biggest of scores. Some personal favorites of mine happen to be the title track itself, Arise, which kicks off the game's journey mode in excellent fashion. However, special mention must also go to Sunset Beach, which made pairing up water spheres and seashells together all the more hypnotic. Not every track includes lyrics, yet overall, I'd say there's a really good mixture of different genres present here that easily sees Lumines Arise double up as its own visual concept album. Better yet, much like with Tetris Effect, all your actions are reflected in both the visuals and audio to make you feel a part of the puzzle experience, as opposed to simply just viewing it. Moving your current block from one side of the playfield to the other, for example, is always backed up by a musical stinger unique to that track. Building up combos and trying to chain as many block clears in a single wipe, meanwhile, will often see the screen buzz and pop off with soaring vocals, if they're present, and an even more vibrant take on the existing soundscape. If you hadn't already guessed, Lumines Arise has to be experienced yourself to be truly appreciated, and it's made even more impressive when you consider that pretty much all these added effects are delivered in a way that doesn't distract your flow or progress. It would have been enough for Enhance to lift the Lumines template, apply the Tetris Effect aesthetic, and then call it a day. This wouldn't be the studio's style though, and as such, a new method of clearing blocks has been added in the form of burst. It's exactly as exciting as it sounds, letting you momentarily pause the action on the playfield once you've built a high enough percentage, at which point you'll be able to surround the latest block with more squares than usual to make it bigger and more sprawling. Activating burst at 100% gives you the most time to try and do this, and various times did it save my butt from overstacking the playfield by granting me some much needed extra breathing space. I can see some Lumines purists disliking burst, but then the need to activate it isn't essential. Lumines Arise has also given Enhance a chance to right one of the few wrongs of Tetris Effect before it by launching with local and online multiplayer modes right away. This is where burst once again plays a significant role, with the multi-screen on-screen mayhem, giving you a chance to pile up your opponent's playfield with added junk. While this could be annoying in theory, the location of where blocks will be dumped is always displayed on screen 4 squares ahead of time. Throw in the ability to offset the block assault entirely by using burst to fight back, and you have a thoughtful take on Lumines multiplayer that offers up great bouts of tension and competition. This is the type of multiplayer mode that previous Lumines incarnations have been crying out for. Although very much following in the footsteps of Enhance's utterly excellent Tetris Effect before it, Lumines Arise succeeds in giving the PSP's classic puzzler a similar psychedelic treatment that has to be played and seen to be fully believed. It's not just a puzzle game, but rather a kaleidoscopic adventure that may very well represent the apex of what Enhance can achieve with an audio-visual experience in video game form. There are tracks in this that will stay with me for a very long time, all of which pair with astounding visuals that sees Lumines Arise primed to entrance and delight, firmly giving one of the best puzzle games ever the transformative makeover it well and truly deserves. We at All Out Gaming give Lumines Arise a 4 out of 5. So there you have it, guys, in terms of our Lumines Arise review. Will you be picking this one up? Be sure to let us know in the comment section below. And then, why not subscribe to the All Out Gaming YouTube channel to stay up to date with even more videos like this. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.